Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. Today I am doing the I Should Have Read That book tag. I found this one on the blog One More Book, and I followed the rabbit hole of thanks for tagging me links back to like mid-2019, and I can't figure out who created this one, so thanks for posting it One More Book so that I could find it. This tag is a series of questions of books where I really should have read it by now. Before I get into the questions, just want to remind everybody that there are two giveaways coming up on this channel. The first one, the one I've been teasing for a while, is the Let's Get Jenna Monetized. When this channel finally has the watch hours to be monetized, I will be giving away a prize pack plus a small custom artwork. The prize pack is your choice of the art supplies I've been putting away for it, the fantasy genre books I have more than one copy of, or a custom order placed on Book Depository on your behalf. Details are in the description box down below. The other giveaway is the Let's Get Jenna to 2,000 subscribers giveaway because subscriber count has kind of stalled. That one will be your choice of an Amazon gift card or a Book Depository order. That will be $25 Canadian, or the closest equivalent rounded nicely to a 5 or a 0 ending number in your local currency for the different regional Amazon sites. With that said, let's get to answering these questions. Question number 1. A book that a certain friend is always telling you to read. Omens by Kelley Armstrong. I featured this one in one of my TBR list type videos back in January, where I went through my physical TBR and talked about books I am definitely going to get around to this year. This is one my sister really wants me to read. She's been talking about it for quite a while. I was sent a copy for Christmas, and this has been living next to the couch along with Hose Beast from Outer Space and Broadsider. These two are novels that the authors have sent to me in hopes that I will review them, and I still need to get to them. These are the physical books that are next when I have time to pick up a physical book in between my ebooks and my audiobooks. Number 2. A book that has been on your TBR list forever and you still haven't got to it. For me, that is The Lies of Lamora by Scott Lynch. I know, I talk about this one all the time, even though I haven't read it yet. And I've actually been so intent on reading this over the years, I own 2 copies. This is one of the copies you could potentially win if that's your choice on the prize pack. I will read this year. I am determined. I am so determined. Number 3. A book in a series you've started but haven't finished yet. So if you read the companion blog post for this one, I said I'm not sure if they mean I didn't finish the book yet or I didn't finish the series. I'm going with the series. Out of Oz by Gregory Maguire, and this copy has seen better days. I think I like the look of it under the dust jacket anyway. So pretty much everybody at this point has heard of Wicked by Gregory Maguire. They turned it into a Broadway musical. And from there you go on into Son of a Witch and A Lion Among Men. Apparently I already took the dust jacket off of this one. I didn't like A Lion Among Men as much, so I haven't been super eager to finish the series. So I've had this one sitting around for like a decade now. Copyright 2010, yeah, a decade. I've had this one around for a decade now and I haven't read it yet. One of these days I will. Number 4. A classic you've always liked the sound of but have never actually read. So this one's kind of a cheat answer, because I never used to like the sound of the classics. Millennials growing up in North America will understand when you're going through the school system, classics gets conflated to Shakespeare plus the great American novels. I'm not American, I'm Canadian. We're a lot more shy and reserved about patriotism, so when you get all excited about the great American novel, it's a very alien sounding concept to a Canadian, so it always sounded very stuffy to me. Let's just never mind the fact that a lot of the books that are considered classics weren't written on this continent anyway. But you know, now that I'm in my 30s, I have picked up some of the classics, mostly for the first time. I was fortunate enough to be in an honors stream of English classes in high school where we were very much allowed to choose books that fit the criteria rather than reading a prescribed book. So I didn't actually have to read these classics I wasn't interested in. Now that I'm in my 30s, I've started to read them and I've started to actually enjoy them. A few days ago, a friend on one of the Facebook groups I'm on pointed out that there were a few illustrated classics available as read now books on NetGalley, and I decided to go grab one. So I have this beautiful copy of Jane Eyre waiting for me to get around to it. It's already past its release date for this illustrated version, so it's not going to be a high priority for me. It has joined the backlist section of my TBR. A popular book that it seems everyone has read but you. So for this one, I'm gonna say A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas and all of its sequels, because it seems like everybody who reads fantasy on BookTube has read it. And it seems like everybody who loves YA on Twitter has read it. And it seems like everybody posting beautiful shelf pictures on Instagram, which I've kind of given up on, has read it, or at least has a copy on their shelf. Eventually I will get around to it. I've heard through paying attention to other people talking about it and giving their hot takes on it now that it's a bit older. It's a lot more sexual than a lot of people think that a YA fantasy should be, which is starting to turn me off. I like a little romance in my fantasy, not a little fantasy in my romance, and that's what it's starting to sound like. Number 6, a book that inspired a film or TV adaptation that you really love but you haven't picked it up yet. For this one, it may be a surprise to you, it was a surprise to me. I recently found out that The Prestige by Christopher Priest exists. I didn't know that this was a novel. I know about the movie, I love the movie. I've heard that the movie does a lot of interesting things messing with the timeline, and I've heard that particularly with the whole Borden wife mistress situation there, that they've messed with the love triangle happening there. But overall, it's quite a good adaptation from what I've heard. So I am very interested to read the book. I fully expect to end up liking the book more at the end. It's not going to make me hate the movie though, because this movie is perfection. Alright, the 7th and final question on this tag is a book you see all over Instagram but haven't read yet. For this one, I am picking Lobizona by Romina Garber. I've heard amazing things about this ever since it was published last August. I keep meaning to pick it up, and now I've been accepted on NetGalley for the sequel, so now I have to read this one ASAP. I finally accepted the library loan on Libby as it came around a couple of days ago, took it out of the holding pattern, so I will be listening to that audiobook. So those are my 7. Tell me in the comments down below, what are your answers to those 7 questions? Have you read any that I really should read? I will see you next week if you're only here for books, and I will see you on Wednesday for the 2nd installment of March Fandom Mayhem if you're also here for art. If you're looking for more to watch, I've got some suggestions up on the left side of the screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and if you like living life creatively, whatever that means to you, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Bye guys!